2023 Lowrider ST, and today we're going to be replacing my headlight and both turn signals with the Amber Baja Designs LP6 and the S1s, the little pods. Both of those have the mounting bracket. Not so much this one for the turn signals, but the main wiring harness. We'll need to take, the easiest way probably is going to be to take the entire tank off. So get the seat off, get the tank off, take off both the side pieces, side covers, so we can access everything, and then we can run the wiring harness straight down the frame. You'll be able to see a little bit more what I'm talking about once we get there. So check it out. This is before. I've never done a YouTube video before, so, oh, by the way, chip. Best option to get the tank off is gonna be to take the bolt out, these rear bolts. Once we do that, we can kind of angle the tank up, wedge a towel underneath there, and then we gotta disconnect the fuel supply and some electrical up underneath there. Once we get that disconnected, then we can take the entire tank off. I'm handy, I know how to use tools. Don't really work on motorcycles too often, so we'll see how this goes. If I can do it, most anybody can do it. So we'll work on that, and then we'll get the fairing off and get it going. Bear with me while I try and point this out. We've got to get, this is the fuel line, we've got to take that off. We've got to get this little bad boy off, and then there's an electrical switch. I don't even know if I can get you in close enough to see it. Up here, I believe. We got to disconnect all three of those things. Once we get that off, then we disconnect the front bolt there. Probably can go ahead and loosen that up actually. And whole tank comes off. We about to find out. Oh, there we go. All right, so that one's off. This is just supposed to pop right off. Easy enough for those two. So that's a quick connect, just pressure, push up on this. That pushes up to release it. So that has the push bit at the top. I don't know if you can see that, but right here, you've got smaller hands. You might be able to get up in there and just kind of push down on that little bad boy. But it is at the top position, kind of like that. So if you can see it. All right, let's see if that's right. Hey. Let me pop you guys off of this for a second. All right, so that's all we were working with, getting all this tank cleared up. That way we can run the electrical from the front down through this center housing and down into our battery, which is way down in there. From my past experience, I know that when you take this bad boy off, you're gonna need to disconnect the headlight housing on the inside. Let me see if I can show you that real quick. So there's a headlight housing just there. You can pop it off from there. I guess you can also take the headlight out ahead of time if you wanted to do that before you take the entire fairing off. But that's all there is to it. I mean, it's not anything crazy. Back of the headlight housing, headlight wiring harness. On this. So we'll take our bushings, and the supply bolts. I don't see any instructions on how to do the wiring harness, so it looks like it's gonna be pretty much dealer's choice. If you're electrically inclined and you have any sense about you, good luck. I'm gonna do the best I can. I'll let you know if I completely screw it up or not. Looks like this goes obviously to your ground. You got your hot wire to your positive side, and I'm thinking that this is gonna go, yeah, this should marry up in here. And this is your butt, so. Okay. I'm assuming they do it this way because it's gonna be easier to feed this down the frame. So. That's not gonna work. Oh wait. Yeah, that might work. All right, so what we've got going on, good old wire clothing line run up through the frame. It's gonna be our fishing line. And we're just going to basically tape tape the line to this to our fishing line and pull it back through. Anyone with half a brain knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's hard to feed a line through there by itself. That's all we've got going on. Just simple, tape it up, pull it through. Sorry for the kind of time frame jump. I went ahead and I didn't video this part just because it's kind of a monotonous little piece of pain in the butt. But so you'll have, that's not a piece of it. You'll have your wiring harness, right? That we fish down. What you want to do is take the black, obviously that's going to be your ground. You can put it on, you know, the frame ground. If you wanted to, you can run it over to the negative of the battery, but it's just easier since it's a short piece to keep it here on the frame ground. And then deep down in there, you'll have to finagle your battery connection out, but all the way down in there, you'll put it on the positive terminal of your battery. And this is where your fuse is gonna go. Let's see if we have it. So it comes with the cap and a 30 amp fuse. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's 30. Either way, so the 30 will get plugged into here. Then you just put your cap on, secure it down into your son of a. So now, we should be able to just plug in our LP6 here. Our harness will go into our stock connector. And I believe this is gonna be our power connector for our turn signals. So, looks pretty simple. Looks like this is gonna be our wiring harness for our turn signals. So, that'll connect in there. We're gonna run these connectors over to the back side of your stock wiring harness. Looks like they just plug in for power. And then Baja sends some of the nice kind of shrink wrap, but these will go basically directly onto the Baja Designs. This is your S1 pod. It'll just go and you solder it together. So pretty straightforward. That'll be nice and simple. Probably gonna be easier to go ahead and mount these first. So we'll kind of start that process now actually. These should be pretty dang simple. If I remember fixing, yeah, so that's all there is to it. Take this out. It's an entire unit by itself, so pretty straightforward. So that's what just the bracket's gonna look like itself. And it does have a hole right here at the top that feeds in and all the way through the backside. So that's where you'll route your cable when you put your pod on there. And that's what she's gonna look like. The wiring comes through right here, so we'll actually run it behind. We've got the tank put back on, and we're gonna try and mount and test out these turn signals before we get too far, because I'm not sure, based on the wiring, which one will be left and right. So I'm gonna need to turn on the battery here in a second, get power to the turn signals, and figure out which one's which to make sure that we're wiring up the correct side. Maybe we won't melt anything. All right, fuse is in there. Hey, got power to the light. We need to test our left turn signal. So what we're gonna do is just run this to here real quick, getting power from there. And then, where's my wiring harness? All I wanna do is connect these two little fellas. All right, we got steady power. And left turn signal, right turn signal, correction. Sweet. That's all we needed. I'm gonna get these wired up. It's real simple. You're new to wiring, white to white, black to black. About as easy as it gets. This is gonna be your indication light or indication switch. So cool. The last thing we gotta do is, I've already started taking the screws out. Got one last left. We're gonna take the headlight out, and we gotta put the template in there. Cut the fairing so that the light will fit, and reinstall the, oh, that's all there is to that. And I believe this just goes about like that. We'll put the 3 screws back in. Doesn't really have to be on super tight. I mean, we've only got a millimeter or so play. So either way, if you can see this, you're cutting just what looks like to be just the inside all the way around of this locking tab. You can barely see the gap right there. So we'll mark it with a Sharpie and then get to cutting up like a Dremel tool or something, I guess. Holy crap. I would not suggest a Dremel tool. Go with something else. That's a pain in the ass. Yeah, go choose another option. Let's see if we're trimmed enough. Oh man. Oop. It's completely back together, but just. I messed up one place. Not major, but it made reassembly more difficult than it should have been, which is the only reason I didn't video all that. So this is it. It's got an awesome little inset. So a lot of the other ones, like the shark, whatever that other one is, the shark one or whatever, it sticks out like way far out past this lip, which personally I don't like. I like this being nice and inset just a little bit. And then these came together great. However, they're upside down. And I didn't realize that until putting the fairing back on. These have a notch on the rear end. This notch is actually like in line with this area instead of this area, which is where it needs to be. So the bracket is flipped upside down. This should be on the left side. The left side should be on the right side right here. And I guess I was assuming that Baja designs would be oriented in the upright position, which I guess wouldn't be the case. But these sit, I mean, it's going to be rubbing the freaking hole in the plastic right there. But for the time being, and until I feel like and or decide to fix it, it's fine. I mean, I'm not terribly worried about it. I like Baja being oriented upright. But that's it. This thing's gonna be mean. And all right, so let's see here. I'll show you. That's low beams, high beams. Can't tell it right now, but got the turn signals working. Got the hazards working. Pretty nice. Extremely bright. I don't think cameras do it justice. So if you can tell, I'm gonna try and hang it above. All right, so maybe from this angle, these are the only two lenses, LEDs, I guess, that are lit up in the low beam mode. I guess these are your fogs. And then you've also got your side markers on either side. The high beams are the four center ones right here. That's gonna be your high beam. Thing is bright as hell. The camera really doesn't do it any kind of justice, but yeah, I'm liking it. I'll have to adjust the lights a little bit. This one looks like it's going up a bit more than I want it to. So get it off the stand and take it down the road, see how bright she looks. It's just about dark outside, so that's perfect. That's it. If anybody has any questions, I'll try my best to answer what I can. Like I said, I'm not a mechanic by any means, so this is the first time I've ever really pulled apart a Harley, so to speak. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you got any questions, put them in the comments. Appreciate it.